And now the dramatic conclusion to episode 8, 8-Bit Heaven.
If you don't know the culture, here's the whole structure. We had enough of the lackluster. Trust us, we get the kind of games you can't win in Blockbuster. Game related, raise it bit by bit. Yo, D, link up the game.
No,
Mario.
Well, you know Mario Brothers' last name is really Mario, right?
What?
Yeah, it is.
So
why you think they call it the Mario Brothers?
So is Mario's real name
Mario?
Come on, man.
I'm serious. Why you think they call it the Mario Brothers?
That's hilarious. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah. So Luigi was my dude.
Luigi was cool. I thought I liked Luigi too because he was like an offshoot of Mario. He did seem like the cool other brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
even though the movies like completely dogged him out, he was like, I think John Leguizamo played him in the movie way back in the day.
We don't
which
even
was a complete awful movie.
talk about that disaster of a movie.
Yeah,
there's too much bad about that movie. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so Mario Brothers. Yeah, I guess Luigi Mario and Mario. I definitely love both of them. Let's see here. Master Chief from the Halo series.
Of course.
My man.
That's a given.
Then, okay, so from FIFA 97, back to my Oreo homies. They had that game, FIFA 97. We would play that all the time. I was never really into soccer as a kid, just because I played baseball, more than anything else. And yeah, when I started playing that game with them, I got into soccer, international soccer video games. And there was a character on there, a guy on there who's an announcer. His name was Andy Gray. He was like the John Madden of soccer games. And he was either Irish, Scottish or Britain, he's from Great Britain. I don't know. Like he's an actual commentator. He would always just drop in the most hilarious quips during a game, and he always reacted, to whatever was going on. So like if somebody had a corner kick and it went directly to an opponent, he would say, "Oh, not a good corner," or if like somebody. It was the cool thing about that game, FIFA 97. Like you could kick the ball from your goalie toward, you could take a shot from your goalie all the way to the other goal and sometimes score. Wow. So you could kick a corner kick and have it, like bend all the way like over the audience somehow and come back in and, it score or, either bend it the other way all the way back in, halfway up into the field and bend it in the score. And like, he'd be like, "Oh, it's a bit of magic. What an amazing shot." And we'd always walk around just quoting that. So yeah. And of course, John Madden from the Madden series, like those.
Oh yeah, of course.
John Madden always, had some good one-liners, in there. So yeah, those are some of my favorite characters. I don't even know, what about characters I didn't like. There was only one that I could think of.
There's only one for me as well, man. And I'm gonna tell you, it was Jax from Mortal Kombat.
Jax? You ain't like Jax?
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. That dude, I know, but dude, he was useless, man. Mm-hmm. Maybe I just couldn't control him, but I thought he was sorry, man. You're supposed to be a brother. You can't run fast. You can't jump high.
Didn't he have like metal arms?
Yeah, metal arms.
Like he was like
all he could do was box.
I guess you're right, but like he was like the Black Winter Soldier. Because like wasn't he a soldier?
Yeah, he was. I can remember that awful Mortal Kombat 2 movie.
Oh, yeah.
As well, when he was in that.
Man.
And then, of course, he had to rip his arms off at the end just to prove that he could fight.
It's so funny. Yeah, okay, yeah. So I didn't hate Jax. I guess, he wasn't my favorite, but I didn't hate him, though. But I'll tell you, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Don Flamenco.
Oh, yeah.
That silly dancing.
I remember that.
Yeah, I didn't like Don Flamenco. Like, he was just... Every time I got to him, I tell you, man, like, I swear, I don't think I ever passed him. Like, I never beat Punch-Out because of that guy. Because I would always try to punch and miss, and he'd come back around and knock me out. And he had, like, he had some kind of, like, super punch where, like, knock out, like, half of your health bar. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, the super punch where it knocked out, like, half of your health bar. So, yeah, man, I can never beat him. Let's see here. So, yeah, so now I think it might be a good time to take a quick break, and we will talk about our sponsor, Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. So, yeah, man, what do you think about Hooks, Rubs, and Spices?
I love them, man. I've been hooked on Hooks, Rubs, and Spices for maybe the past year or two.
Yeah.
Of course I ran out, so I'm going to have to place an order for some more. But everybody who's tasted my food that I've ever grilled that had the Hooks, Rubs, man, they love it.
Yeah, we'll throw some
Very
pictures
flavorful
up about some Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. But yeah, man, they have Mad Cow, which is like a salty, spicy, salty, peppery rub, mostly for beef, Mad Cow. They have the Smoke and Sweetness, which is a sweet, salty, savory combination. I think that's the fan fave.
I love it.
I heard. And then the Smoky Burn, which, as it suggests, sort of burns its way down your throat into your belly. And then lastly, they just added a new seasoning, the Lemon Pepper, which is a perfect combination of lemon, pepper, some other fresh herbs. And so Hooks, Rubs, and Spices, we definitely thank them for their sponsorship. If you go to their shop on Etsy, which is etsy.com/shop/Hooks, Rubs, and Spices, and use the code Blackout15, you get 15% off your order.
Sweet.
They have 8-ounce sizes and 16-ounce sizes. They have some combo packs available. And now that they're sponsoring us, Jay, I don't know if you really have to order any. I think maybe you could just ask
Cool.
the Hook family themselves and see,
Cool.
down to send some over. So,
Because I was about to go online right now and use our own coupon code to get some.
that would be cool. Well, yeah, actually, I am going to be posting video pretty soon using some Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be posting video, using some Hooks, Rubs, and Spices, Smoke and Sweetness, and Mad Cow to make a killer pork shoulder. So be on the lookout for that. It's just going to be just in time for Memorial Day as far as me shooting it. It probably won't be in time for Memorial Day as far as you to take that recipe and do it on your own. But yeah, big ups to Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. Check them out on Instagram at Hooks Spice Rubs. Also on Twitter, same handle. They're on Facebook, and then you could find their shop. All the shop links go back to their Etsy.com site. So, yeah, cool. Man. So, Hooks, Rubs, and Spices, # we smoke meat.
Nice.
Tap your
Yeah, so back to the games, man.
Do it.
What are some fun facts about old school games, like Nintendo cartridges, for instance, that you had to get to work properly?
Man, I tell you what. Yeah, you had to do some silly stuff with the Nintendo cartridge, like blowing it and pushing it off to the side, one side or the other. For some reason it wouldn't work, or it would like you would turn on the system and
just blinking,
get like either a blank screen, a blinking screen, or it would like look like scribbles. I'm trying to think though. One cool fact that I found, which I thought was pretty cool. Okay, so let's see here. Nintendo, it started as a playing card game manufacturer in 1889. 1889, they started as a game, like a card game maker. You know what I'm saying? They made card games. That's so crazy. And then, eventually they decided to foray into, actual video games in the 70s and whatnot. And the, Nintendo's head game designer from, late 70s into the 80s, his name was Shigeru Miyamoto. He never solely designed a game before, making his first game, which was Donkey Kong. And it was brought to Nintendo, I guess that brought Nintendo, from possibly like a failing company into the game industry pioneer. And, mainly the reason, that all the games are so great and so advanced as they are today. That's why, they're so successful. And apparently, they had a version of Donkey Kong that was just like a one level type of deal. When Mario, which actually his name wasn't Mario in there, even though it looks like Mario from Super Mario Brothers, his name was Jumpman. Jumpman. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, boy.
Michael Jordan's right there, baby. So before Jordan came along. Anyway, his name was Jumpman, and he had to save a princess or a lady, in there. I can't remember her name right offhand, but it wasn't like Princess Peach. It was a different person. And those characters were actually named after people who worked at the Nintendo, manufacturing distribution plant in America.
Oh, that's cool.
Which was cool. And Donkey Kong was actually a callback to King Kong. They really loved, Miyamoto really loved King Kong, as a kid. So it was sort of like a throwback to King Kong. So let's see here. His father was an English teacher in Japan in the 1950s. So this guy, sort of knew a little bit about American culture. And that's what Nintendo wanted to do. They wanted to be able to mainstream and go into American culture, not just in Asia. They don't want to just be successful there. And all of their other arcade games that they tried to put out, sort of failed and flopped. But this one, Donkey Kong, as I said, started as a single level game. Then he was like, I want to make it multiple levels. And apparently the game designers that were working with him were like, nah, the programmers were like, nah, that's too hard. What are you talking about? That's crazy. Why are you trying to change that? And he's like, no, let's do it. So they did it and it blew up. And I mean, Donkey Kong, iconic. Mario, who was first Jumpman, I guess. Yeah, iconic. Yeah. Nintendo, obviously, a pioneer in the gaming industry. So
very cool, very cool. Well, I'm gonna tell you 3 different ways that I got my game to work.
Okay.
And it's not really a history lesson.
Okay.
But
go for it.
Of course, lining up the edge of the cartridge with the inside of the Nintendo so they would barely be touching each other.
Yes, I remember that.
Then push it down. Bam. That worked. Number 2, since the inside was like this type of spring-loaded controller to play the game, you press it up, press it down, So what I used to do was push it up, push it down, push it up, push it down, push it up, push it down. I'd keep doing that as fast as I could. Power it on. Bam.
That.
It worked. I'm sure that had absolutely nothing to do with getting the game to come on, but hey, it might have been just my little superstition. I used to do it.
That's funny.
Last but not least, the most infamous way to get your game to work. Of course, people will blow into their game. Bam. They do that, but I took it a step further. So what I would do, and this was a surefire way to get this game to come on. So you'd blow in it, then you'd exhale your hot breath onto it.
Yes.
So cool air, warm air combo. That cool air, warm air combo inside got your game to work. Bam.
And
3 fun facts.
It's so crazy because, you say that and like it sounds silly to have to blow in your game because now there's just discs,
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, man, it was always weird and it was always like your friend would always be like, hey, man, have you heard of this? You got to blow in the game. Or, you got to push it to the side. You got to do this. You got to push it in. I would push it in real hard.
Yeah.
I would push the game in real hard, one way to the left or to the right. And yeah, just like you, but I wouldn't click it a lot of times. I would just push it down really hard and then just leave it alone and then turn on the system and it worked. And then I even remember people saying like you have to turn on the system within so many seconds or your game's not going to work.
Yeah. Wow, man. That's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
That's insane.
It's wild.
That's insane, the things we had to go through just to get our stuff to work, our games to work.
And I don't know if my dad did any of that stuff with Atari. I just remember playing with him, on that system. And I remember that you didn't have to do that for Genesis.
Nope.
I never had the Sega Master System, but I never heard of that for that. But yeah, Nintendo, for some reason, you always it seems like it got out of line or something like that. So
exactly.
Push it in there a weird way.
That's so crazy, man. So crazy.
That's so funny. What about, do you remember any game cheat codes?
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah.
I was like the game cheat master for some reason.
Yeah.
Metroid, you remember playing Metroid, which is, again, one of my favorite games ever. I didn't mention it earlier, but yeah, Metroid, if you type in Justin Bailey, so, Samus Aran, which is the main character, typing in this code will reveal that Samus Aran was a girl with green hair and this purple looking swimsuit.
That's so crazy because I know that now you could get Zero Suit Samus on the on the Smash Bros games, but I never knew Samus was a girl. I always thought Samus was a dude. Probably until sometime in college maybe somebody told me that.
And I still don't know where the name Justin Bailey, what is the association with Metroid and Justin Bailey. And of course I didn't even find out this code until sometime when Nintendo Power was real popular.
Nintendo Power.
You know, they'd always give you like this little section of cheats at the back. So I had to try it one time. It's like, okay, it's a girl. I always thought it was a boy, you know, or a guy, or just a cyborg or something. But that Super Mario, they had a couple different tricks to get like infinite lives.
Oh yeah.
You know, I forgot the stage, but there's some little guy that rides up in the cloud. I forgot his name, but he throws down the little
Lakitu.
Yeah, there you go, Lakitu, and he throws down the little spinies. So there was one point where you stomp on a Koopa Trooper, and it would be in between these two walls, right? And the Koopa Trooper would just bounce back and forth, and then the what's his name, Lakitu?
Yeah.
He would throw down the spinies, and they'd always fall inside this little section. And as long as the Koopa Trooper was bouncing back and forth, bam, you got infinite lives.
That's so funny.
You know, so there's quite a few ways to get in the game. And then, of course, the most famous cheat code ever. There's been T-shirts made from this thing.
Oh yeah,
because it's that great. And I'll let you name the game, but I'll just say up, down, left, right, BA start. Bam.
The Konami code for the game called Contra. Yeah, man, that was the jam. I used to love that Konami code. And the cool thing about it was I did find out that one of the programmers, for Contra, thought the game was so hard that he actually programmed this code into the game. So, he could get like the power ups. And extra lives. I think it was like 30 lives that you would get when you did the code. That you could always do it like at the start screen or whatever. And basically, like he did that to be able to make it through the game because he had programmed the game so hard that he could never beat the game, which I think is hilarious. And then, like we said back then, there was no like save points. You just had to start over. So the cool thing about it was he did that, and then he forgot to remove the cheat code, when they went and released the game to the public. Yeah. So it was in there, and then somehow somebody found out about it, and and then next thing you know, that code, the 30 life code or the Contra code, whatever you want to call it, was, and then I guess you call it the Konami code, was spread throughout the world, by just word of mouth. And I mean, it was lit. And what's so crazy is that code was so popular just with that one game that all these other arcade games started doing it. Arcade games, video games like Gradius, was one that I can remember. They all had some form of that code. And either it was like the one, just like you said, up, down, left, right, BA start, which was the Nintendo buttons, or they had to do like start and select at the end, or they would go through all the all the directions and letters, and no start number, no start button or select button. Then of course, when we moved to the Super NES, and we moved to the Sega systems and all the systems beyond that, they had some derivation of it, but there was always the same, directional pathway, up, down, left, right, and then they would have, some, square X, B, A, whatever. So I thought that was cool. That was one of the coolest codes, and it was the most popular code. There's even still some games right now where you can, plug that code in. But probably, it was nothing like that code then because, when you got 30 lives, I mean, dang, you could do anything, unless you're just a terrible player, which was me a lot of times,
Right.
But, yeah, man. But see, that's why I stuck to sports games a lot too, because like if you lost in a sports game, it was just a loss. It wasn't like you lost all your characters and had to start all over again, the same way. So.
Well, and there were some games back then that if you lost at a certain point, you'd get a code. Like I can remember playing River City Ransom. City Ransom, for instance. they give you this super long code. I don't know how many. It's probably like 30 characters or something.
Yeah.
You know, and of course you write it down. You go to punch it in later. It didn't work.
Yeah.
But it supposedly got you back to your point of where you died at.
What is it?
But
Bubble Bobble? I think Bubble Bobble did that too. You remember Bubble Bobble?
yeah, I remember Bubble Bobble. Yes.
Yeah, I think Bubble Bobble actually did that too. Yeah, and then there was some other games where you found out codes. You found out either codes of buttons to press or letters to put in, and it would take you from instead of starting on the first level, you start like on the 99th level or something like that. Or the 100th level, or you start on a different round or something like that. So so that was so crazy, man. There were so many, and the best ones were like the sports games where you could get like all 100, like 100 attribute, or you can make your character look like a big muscular guy. Like it was before the real times where you could like really really customize them that much. So yeah, you can make them have like a bear head, but then like a person body, and then like pig legs, like a man bear pig. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to South Park.
Yeah. Do you remember playing Mortal Kombat, the first Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
And there was some code, I think, whenever you knock, I forgot what character it is, but you knock somebody in a pit, and then you get to play as Reptile inside the pit.
Yeah, who was it?
I forgot what it was.
Was it somebody out there knows what we're talking about? Please let us know. But I'm just trying to think. Like, were you Scorpion?
I'm honestly not sure about that.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Yeah, somebody out there, tap your love box. Let us know.
Anyway, that was cool.
Yeah, that was. So, I do remember that playing in the pit. I remember, also another thing that I guess we could sort of transition into is like when you beat the game. Wasn't it on Mortal Kombat when you beat the game? You could play as Shang Tsung or Goro. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
You had all the characters. You had beat all the characters. Then you could play as like the bad guys at the end.
Yeah, that was cool. That was so great, man.
Goro.
I got to go back and get those games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Goro, wasn't he? Let's see. He was named after the guy in Bloodsport, wasn't he? The guy that Jean-Claude Van Damme fought in Bloodsport. Or his name Bolo.
His real name was Bolo.
Yeah, okay. Maybe, but, I don't know what that name was. That's what I would always think of, because I know that your brother...
Chong Li. Chong Li was Bolo Young's name in Bloodsport.
Oh, Chong Li, okay, yeah. Well, see, like when, your brother was always into Kung Fu, Bruce Lee posters everywhere. Obviously, both of you guys were black belts. Don't mess with my cousins. And yeah, he loved Bolo. I remember that, or whatever, Chong Li, whatever. So every time I saw Goro, I would think of him, even though he looked nothing like him. The guy in Bloodsport did not have 4 arms. He was not bald, but he would always remind me of that guy. So he didn't have 3 fingers per hand, I think. So yeah, man, what about some cool, just like other cool random moments or characters that you could play with from games that you wouldn't be able to normally? Do you ever come up with any of those?
Random moment or characters?
Yeah, cutscenes. I don't know. I was just thinking
cutscenes. I could remember some very cool cutscenes from Final Fantasy VII. Mm-hmm. I think that was from the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2, I think.
I remember that game.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy VII had really cool cutscenes, probably like some of the best ones I've seen at that time. And that's when I think that was like right as I was graduating college in 3D animation. Mm-hmm. So
wow, that's cool.
that was really like a very inspirational game right there. And I think everybody loves Final Fantasy VII. That's why they're remaking it.
It's an amazing game.
But Final Fantasy VII, and as I mentioned earlier with Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal had like the most fun scenes. And they always have these cool names for their sequels, like Up Your Arsenal and I forgot some other ones. But
speaking of Ratchet and Clank,
totally funny.
Are you going to go see the Ratchet and Clank movie? I know it's out.
I heard it was pretty bad. Yeah, I heard it was pretty bad. I don't know. Maybe I'll wait until it get on Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix for sure.
But the game itself, it had these cutscenes where they were like animated like comic books. So it was like comic book steal. So it was like steals from this character called
Oh, shucks. I never heard of him.
Captain Quark.
Okay.
And Captain Quark was like this superhero television show thing, but they had these really dope cutscenes that would have these comic books, and they would move, and the voiceover would be speaking as they were moving, and it was just so cool. You'll probably have to look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think YouTube might have it.
I'll for sure
to see those cutscenes, but it was cool. It was real cool.
Yeah, I'll for sure look it up. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, I know there's always like just random cutscenes I like, but nothing, can totally stand out for me other than like some Call of Duty, cutscenes that they have, and Halo, of course, the first and second Halo, the newer ones, of course. The old school ones, I can't remember as many, but I would always remember going to the arcade and watching the arcade games. With no one playing on them, they would just sort of cycle through. Right. Sometimes they would go through a cutscene, and sometimes, they would just, sometimes they would just show just random gameplay. I remember one, I think it was called Cruising USA, which I think is still out now.
Yeah, I think it is.
A newer version of it now, but yeah, it was always cool, like watching them like drive their car, across the country, and then, watching any of those fighting games, like the Mortal Kombat games, or the games where you have like a pistol and you could shoot at the screen, and just like watching the game just like mow over people and levels. I thought that was cool. I was like, man, I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But
oh boy,
I mean, it just, I remember we had this cool arcade by our house called Tilt. And Tilt was the bomb. So shout out to Houston, for the Tilt, arcade franchise. I don't think they're around anymore, but I think at each of the major malls that are right by my house, Alameda Mall, Baybrook Mall, they both had Tilts. So like my mom and dad would come and go and drop us off there, and, like they'd go shopping for a while and we'd be there just like, going through our $20 in quarters, you know what I'm saying?
Wow,
like crazy. Man. And I mean, I was lucky to get $20. Most times if I had $20, 10 of that was mine. And my mom, was nice enough to give me, $5 or $10, but yeah, man, I know most of the time, we did that. It was just, we were there for a long time, and it was like a time where you could leave your children somewhere like in a mall setting and not totally be afraid, that something was going to happen to them. Even at like a 12 or, 12-year-old level, maybe, early teens, you didn't totally have to worry about it. So, yeah, nowadays it's all changed, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, definitely.
They won't even let kids be there without supervision now.
Right. Now, do you remember any other stories from your childhood?
Man,
up? I mean, like 80s, 90s?
Yeah,
whatever?
I mean, some of the best stories, like I already said, my dad and I played, Atari, and it was so great because I remember Houston had this terrible hurricane that went through, did a lot of damage, called Hurricane Alicia. Right, in the 80s, and man, it was bad. But I remember being at home playing. What we play? I think we were playing Tank actually at that moment. And when it was coming through, and the lights went out, and I just looked at him, and he looked at me, and we both had that look on our face, like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? So I do remember that, and I remember when the lights kicked back on, and my dad cranked back up the tube TV, and we started playing again. And actually, I still have that 2600 at my house, my parents' house, I think on a shelf. Cool. So I might have to go and pick that up, bring it back home.
Do that.
Let's see here. Man, I'm trying to think. Obviously, playing, games with you and with some of my other cousins, and obviously my siblings. I mean, there's nothing like that. Those times like I come over your house, we'd be hanging out in your parents' room just playing for hours on end. There's some game. The one game that I didn't like, I remember that you had called Go Glow or something like that.
Go 13.
Go Glow. So I couldn't even.
Google.
It was called Google.
Yeah. Just call it Google.
Somebody go out there and Google Go Glow. Go whatever.
Go 13. GOLGO.
Of all the games you had that I was not good at, that was one of them because I couldn't understand it at all. Like Mega Man, I wasn't great at that game, but I thought it was a cool game. And even like a couple of the Marios, Mario 2, I wasn't great at that, but I thought it was fun always. But Go Glow, I didn't like that. But it was always cool to make believe that you were some of those characters in the games.
Yeah.
So I remember,
right.
doing that a lot. I don't know. And then of course, college, playing with friends in college, and then getting out and doing LAN parties with our homies, way back in the day, like that was always fun. And then now, of course, my kids are into video games, and, we love playing games together, anytime we get an opportunity. What about you, man?
Oh man, I got a couple stories that bring back some very, very good memories. So we have a cousin, right? We have a cousin, right?
Codename what?
And,
Codename?
I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not gonna put him on blast.
Okay.
But he and his family were staying over for like a day or two at my parents' house. So the day they get ready to leave, he's already been on my Nintendo for a few hours. I wake up in the morning, he's on it. So his mom, he tells him, let's get ready to go. We got to get our things together. Now I get ready to get on the Nintendo to play a little bit before they leave. Wouldn't work.
What?
The thing didn't come on. The little red light was blinking and flashing.
I bet you were busy.
Boy, man, I tried every little trick in the book, as we mentioned earlier. And to top it off, I put my hand on it. It's like hot. It's burning up, right? So now I'm pissed. I'm heated. I'm like, what the? Somebody is about to die right now. So like the next thing you know, man, we're all outside. My dad's holding me back because apparently, from what he told me, I had been chasing him around with a stick, ready to crack his head open.
You have to tell who this is.
I'll let you know, but that was in the past. I love all my fam, right? So, peace and calm. So this next story, this happens when I first moved here, when we were rooming together. So I had been here, right, for a few months already. Didn't have a job lined up. Eventually, I got a job at the airport. My shift was like 4:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. So that was crazy. And you guys had already had like a Halo night. And Halo night, for everybody out there, was just like a night everybody gets together, big LAN party. Everybody's playing Halo from was it like 9 and night until whenever.
Get off of work. Yeah.
Work
so at a restaurant on Sundays. So it was Sunday.
Yes.
And it was lit. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, there was this one time we were all there. We're playing. And like I said, I worked 4:30 a.m. to 1. I didn't have a nap that day before I came there.
Okay.
So we're playing, and eventually I pass out on the couch.
I remember that.
Controller in hand, and apparently I must have been stuck running in circles in a corner. And the only reason why I wake up is because I hear Lionel dying laughing after the match was over, because everybody was getting free kills off of me.
I remember that.
I even remember the map we were playing on, Battle Creek.
Oh, yes.
On Halo 1. I couldn't do nothing but laugh at that situation. That was funny, man. I probably would have did the same thing.
Man, it was great because we would kill you and then we would teabag on top of you. And nobody bothered to just wake you up.
No, nobody bothered. I see Lionel damn near falling out of his chair when I wake up at the end of the match. But,
see, this is the best part about that experience, because while if I was in there and I killed you and died somehow, and I respawned somewhere on the other side of the map, seeing everybody else run towards you and try to kill you, I would just throw a few sticky grenades and frag grenades and blow everybody up.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
And then I go and teabag on everybody. Man, I remember that is so hilarious.
Dang. That was best.
Oh, okay. So one of the guys who played with us in the LAN parties, named Joe. Joe was a funny guy. So, and he was ginger. So you already know he has no soul. So every time we would play Halo, and there would be teams like red versus blue.
Right.
The first thing he would shout out, if he wasn't on the red team, red team has the advantage. Red team, he was pissed about it. He wasn't on the red team. I guess just as to give an excuse. I don't know why, but it was always funny because he was a really good player. It is always funny that he would shout that. And then I remember, on that first Halo, you could actually change the name of your character from round to round. So, we'd always have funny names. Our friend James was called Ram Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, I think
I remember
Ram
that.
Johnson. And he would always be like, hey, Ram Johnson, like Beavis and Butthead. We all went through many different names. But I remember Joe specifically took this one girl out to dinner, who most of his guys, we all worked with. And she, I don't know, we all just thought she was a trick. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just thought she was just playing him, just trying to get a couple free meals out of him, just whatever. And I think Joe, whatever he thought, she was genuinely liked him or whatever. Or maybe he was just trying to say that, I was just trying to be a nice guy. But we always thought it was funny that we thought she was just like running him, for his money, and it's like playing games. So I remember one time, we all sort of like came up with some derivation, making fun of him, and he never got it. But I remember my name was called You Paid for Den. And then I think I remember I kept killing him, and he was like, what is you paid for den? What is you paid for den? What does that mean? What did you pay for den? And then everybody was just laughing and dying. And then all of a sudden I was like, Joe, you paid for dinner when you shouldn't have. And he had realized too, before that night, we had talked about it, and he was like, yeah, I think she played me. So we all just laughed, and he could never get it. Like I killed him 10 times, I think, in one of the rounds. And he was like, you paid for din, you paid for din. So, man, it was so funny. But yeah, those Halo nights, I mean, eating Totino's pizza rolls, you know what I'm saying? Oh, dude. Especially when we had like our friend Lionel, he had a house all to himself. Eventually I think he had a couple different roommates, but, it was like a 3-bedroom house. There's a living room, there's a kitchen as well. So sometimes if we had enough people, you get 4 Xbox together, you'd have, one Xbox in the living room on a projector screen up on the wall. Actually, 2 Xboxes in the living room. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was one time he had 2 projectors, or maybe somebody else brought.
He had a little projector business, yeah.
Yeah.
And then let's see, there'd be a cord going to one of the rooms with a 32-inch TV where, a couple people be playing in there, and then a cord going into the kitchen where there's a couple people sitting on stools playing on the TV on the counter in the kitchen. And I remember bringing my 13-inch TV over there with my Xbox and playing, man. It was the best times. And then of course we all got 360s. As the 360s came out, and we did LAN parties from home, and it just wasn't the same, But I do remember, when Halo 2 came out, we did a LAN party over at Lionel's house. All of us took the day off, and we all played at his house. We all bought it, got to his house about 10 in the morning, and stayed there all night long playing overnight. So it was funny. It was before Twitch, and it was before these YouTube streams. Live streaming, it was genuine fun, you know what I'm saying? Which those are fun too, but it's just not the same. So those are some good old time stories. Wow. Man. Oh man. All right. Well, we probably need to wrap this up sometime soon. So yeah. So let's see here. All right. Any games that we missed that you want to talk about before we get to our top 10?
Man, gotta say, I think you already meant, but I have to say DuckTales.
Oh, I never said that. Yeah.
Well, you didn't say DuckTales. You mentioned Gauntlet. I was going to say Gauntlet too, but you mentioned it. That was one of my favorite games as well. I loved that whole the way it moved and it scrolled and whatnot. But yeah, there's so many games. There's not enough time. Maybe we're going to have to do a part 2.
Yeah, if you guys out there
to get into some other stuff.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys out there remember any of these games, have any games that we missed, definitely leave us comments about it. Tap your love box if you love this episode, because I think this is really fun. And yeah, we definitely want to hear from you. There's so many that we could talk about. There's just not enough time. Like Jay said, we'll probably have to do a little mini episode or segment on another episode about it. But yeah, we definitely wanted to give our top 10, and we each got to pick 5, and we don't even know. I don't even know what he's picked. He don't know what I picked yet.
Yeah,
so we might be.
And I might just cheat.
So you might cheat.
I'm probably gonna cheat.
All right. Well, there's no way for you to cheat because you can't see my sheets. All right. So let's go ahead, man. Give me your top 10. Give me your top 5. Give me your 5. We'll go back and forth, and this is no particular order. So
all right, here we go. I'm just gonna go Castlevania series from NES and SNES.
That's boss.
That's just the whole series.
Yep.
So.
All right. So I'm gonna say Excite Bike. That's 2.
Oh yes,
Excite Bike
Excite
is the jam.
All right, give me the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh man, we have to talk about the arcade in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But after this top 10 is over. Okay. So you got your Ninja Turtles. All right, excuse me. So let's see here. I will have to say Super Mario World is in my top 5.
Okay. All right, let's go with this is gonna be cheating, but all the Disney games.
All right.
Like DuckTales, Chippendales Rescue Rangers, Darkwing Duck. I'm not gonna say Magic Mountain or whatever that other game was, but let's just go with those right now.
All right.
For the Nintendo.
Yowza. Wow. Well, okay. Well, I am going to throw this game in there just because it basically introduced me to a new genre of games and sort of took my love for games to another level. I'm going to say The Matrix on Xbox One. I mean, not really? Xbox One, but Xbox.
I don't even think I played the Matrix.
The Matrix was lit. It was lit.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go River City Ransom. Okay. I love that game. I wish they would reboot it. Uh-huh. Hey, and it was great. I even got it for my Wii. I had to download it for the Wii. That's funny. Nintendo, bring back River City Ransom. All right, let's see here. Yes. Okay. I'm going to have to say, okay, this is not old school. This is the newest of schools right now. Super Mario Maker. Super Mario. Okay. You haven't played it yet. I know it's on the Wii U, and man, it's just so fun. The replayability is so high. You can make levels, from all the Marios, I believe, like 1, 2, 1, 3, Super Mario World, and then like the Super Mario U, you can make like Mario levels with all those characters. And like I said earlier, you could actually like make up sounds or use the sounds that they already have. And it's it's so fun. My son and I love playing and making levels for each other. And actually, JD Witherspoon actually played one of our levels. Yes. I uploaded and sent him a link, and he played it on his YouTube channel. So big shout out to Run JD Run on YouTube, man. Thanks for playing that. But yeah, Super Mario Maker. So let's see here. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we each got one left. All right, so the last one I was going to say Super Mario Brothers series for Nintendo and Super Nintendo, but you already mentioned a couple of them. So I'm just going to go straight and say the Ninja Gaiden series. Ooh, I forgot about Ninja Gaiden. Yeah. They even went all the way through Super Nintendo. Let's see, Nintendo, Super Nintendo. I even think Xbox even had some games. I believe that's right. They had an upgraded version. Yeah, so I'm going to have to go with Ninja Gaiden. Man, Ninja Gaiden. I love that game, man. That was one of the best games ever. Okay, so... Wow. All right. This is tough right here because I have probably like 3 or 4 that I could definitely go with. Man, all right. I'm going to have to say 720. Do you remember 720? Skateboarding game. Yes, I remember. I had like a Nash skateboard, which back in the day was like a crappy skateboard, but so my parents could afford it for me. So I was like, whatever. So yeah, man, I love the skateboard. I was never good. I would always crash. I like learned how to do an endo one time, or was it an ollie? What is it called? Where you can kick the ollie when you jump in, when you hop. Yeah, there you go. I learned how to do that. Like, that was like my move. That's it. But 720, like the fact that you could, I don't know, it was like an open skater for a bit. So that was like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater back then. Yeah. And that made my honorable mention, California Games. I completely forgot about that. Dang, California Games, I remember that. Where you go BMX race, that was on my honorable mention. Right. Trying to think, 1942, the plane game. Yeah. Like, I always go back to some kind of like screen scrolling airplane shoot 'em up game. I don't know why I love them. Yeah. Wow. And Bases Loaded. I was a big baseball fan. Yes, Bases Loaded. Even though it had like the worst repetitive sounding, music, and it didn't change. It changed. Only time music changed was when you had somebody on bass. It would go to some other, weird like jingle, and it hurt my ears. But I love playing it. You have any honorable mentions? Man, I gotta say, since you brought up skateboard, and I was about to say Skate or Die. Yeah, Blades of Steel, the hockey game back in the day where you could actually fight each other.
Yes, I loved it.
Man, Blaster Master you mentioned earlier, and then always the always popular Contra.
Contra, of course.
That was always great.
Contra is hard to leave out of the top 10.
There was a ton, man. There's a ton of games.
What about Battletoads? Do you remember Battletoads? Super.
Yes, I love Battletoads, man, and I actually need to find that game so I could relive it. I beat it. I remember beating it. And like we mentioned earlier, that game had some cheat codes with it too.
Yeah, for sure. It did. Trying to think of a couple of Tetris. I love Tetris. I always loved the puzzle.
Yeah, Tetris always a favorite.
And did you ever play Arkanoid?
Arkanoid.
It's the one where it was just like a paddle, sort of like Pong, but it was just one person paddle, and they had all these bricks.
Oh wait, I think I had that on my phone a few phones ago. Yeah. I think I remember.
You know what?
That.
Actually, I remember us going to one of the rental places by your house one time when I visited you, and I remember I wanted to rent that. I wanted to check that game out. I remember your mom was like, you could each get a game. So, you got some game I can't remember, but I remember getting Arkanoid because I loved it so much. And you looked at me, you're like, why do you want to play that game? I remember that. That's so funny. All right, wow. Well, if any of our collective top 10 are in your top 10, please tap your love box. Please leave us a comment. We would love to hear from you guys. There's so much that we could talk about. And one story we definitely have to talk about before we go on to something else is it talks about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That definitely jogged my memory. So what do you remember about this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game?
Man, I just remember a lot of hatred towards somebody. Somebody stealing our glory.
Yes.
I'll let you explain it.
Okay.
Because I know I'm gonna relive some of those feelings are gonna come back.
Don't get in your feels. All right, so we we're on a trip to California. Like I said, my family always took trips around the country from time to time, and this was actually just a fun trip. We were driving from Houston to to California, and then we're also going to Las Vegas. And was this the time we were with Anson, or no? Because I think you might have did a couple trips with us.
Yeah, no, I did. I honestly can't remember.
I can't remember that, but sorry, Anson. Shout out to you, though. Much love. So we went to California and we're driving two separate cars. So my family, so there's at least 4 kids, me, brother and sister, and Jay, and then my parents, and then my dad's aunt and uncle were driving in a separate car in their Cadillac, which is a funny story in itself. And then we got to Las Vegas, and we stayed at this hotel called the Ponderosa, and it was not like on the strip; it was all way off the strip. Actually, I think it was a few miles outside of outside of downtown Las Vegas. I can't even remember right now, but they had a cool arcade area, which had some games. It also had a merry-go-round, and my dad and mom would just drop us off there. It was like, hey, you guys play here all day long. So like, okay. So I think it was in 1990, maybe 92.
Yeah, I think so.
And so that arcade Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game was out, and that was the only thing we wanted to play. And so we played. It was just Jay and I playing through all the levels. And then just before we got to the last level, these 2 little kids showed up. Little brother, little sister, a little younger than us. And you just go ahead and just talk about what happened on that last level.
Man, well, anyway, I don't too much remember the little sister, but I do remember the little brother. And we played through that level, and he just joins in. He's like, yeah. Come on, let's get him, guys.
This after we had each spent $10 worth of quarters.
Yeah, exactly. So we playing through this level, get to Shredder, right? We're fighting him, we're beating him, we're about to win. Bam, we do it. We win. And as us 2, we should be celebrating. But no, we get a third person, we get a third wheel wanting to celebrate with us, like, yeah, we did it, guys.
Yeah, he's giving us high fives.
Yeah, I'm like, no, you didn't do it.
We were so salty looking at them little kids. Man, he was like high-fiving his sister. He's like, yeah, man, I can't believe we just did that. Like looking at us, trying to give us hugs and stuff. I was like, boy, get on out of here.
They're just looking at each other like, what just happened?
Honestly, I was looking for the kid's parents. I was like, where are your parents at? I'm a little kid myself looking for this kid's parents. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Man, I remember it was so cool because like we had both played through. What character did you play with? Because we played with the same character, pretty much the whole game.
I really want to say Donatello, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so if you were Donatello, I was Leonardo then, because I remember it was one or the other. And then they joined in as Rafi and Michelangelo, and yeah, man, we were just like pissy. You know, we should be excited.
Salty.
We just sat there for a couple hours at least, you know, if not more. And we had played it a couple of times before that day, you know, but then we finally had enough time to play it for a longer time. And we were we were so excited on the inside, but we were pissed on the outside of these two little kids because they were celebrating a victory that they came in at the end of. You know, it's almost like, it's almost like an NBA team, that is going neck and neck, with another team down to the wire. And then like some sub comes in, at the end of the bench and, gets two shots. But then the Stars actually hit the rest of the shots in the game and they're celebrating,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're celebrating, even though it's like a 15-point win, but they only scored 4 points. They're like, yeah, man, we did it, man. I'm like, you were sitting on the bench the most of the game. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
It's so silly, man.
Yeah.
It's so silly. Like, those kids weren't closers in baseball. They were just, like, extra players. They were pinch hitters. You know what I'm saying? But, man, man, that was that time, boy, I tell you what, man, I was ready to knock them kids. You know what I'm saying? Ready to knock them kids smooth out.
Oh, man.
Wow. So,
Dang.
shout out to Las Vegas. Shout out to the Ponderosa.
Back in the day. Yeah, we're going to have to relive this story in another episode.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we'll definitely.
Yeah, because there were so many moments on that trip, ranging from El Caminos to vomit.
Yeah. Okay. So, man, the vomit. Okay. So, speaking of reliving this story, I'm going to be in Houston pretty soon here. I think it'll be in time for the next episode recording. So I'd love to get my brother and sister and maybe another cousin on the episode. I already talked to them about it and they seem like they're game. So I think we can definitely relive some crazy childhood stuff with all those characters on there. So yeah, man, I'm totally down for that. But yeah, now, so thank you guys for listening to the main part of this discussion. Has been really fun. So tap your love box. If any of this rings true to you, if anybody ever stole the glory for a game win that you made, that you achieved, tap your love box. Man, if you like any of this stuff, if we missed anything that you want to talk about, please let us know in the comments. Please send us a message. Because we definitely want to know. Now, we're going to try to do a few quick Would You Rathers. I don't believe I got any submitted this week. I don't know if you did.
I did not.
But we did find some crazy Would You Rathers off the internet. So yeah, man. Would you like to start with one?
Let me see. This might get a little gross, okay? All right. So would you rather... Okay. Bear with me now. Would you rather eat a used tampon or a liter of diarrhea?
No! Oh, why? Dang. And this is an edible tampon?
No, just the one that you...
Just the one that is used.
Just the regular one.
Wow. It would have to be tampon. I'm going to say it would have to be tampon. I couldn't do the other stuff. I couldn't do that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What about you?
Hey, I'm just asking the questions here.
Oh, all right. It's like that, huh? Okay. All right. Well, on that same vein, would you rather poop out 400,000 gallons of mayonnaise or poop out 10 shuriken Chinese stars?
Oh boy. How many gallons of mayonnaise?
400,000 gallons. And this is like a constant flow. It's like diarrhea style, but it's mayonnaise.
400,000 gallons. I don't even know where it would come from.
Constant flow, bro.
Hey, let me go with that mayonnaise. I go with the mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise?
Yeah, I go with the mayonnaise.
But you wouldn't poop out the
let's just
Chinese
go with
stars?
No, I might not have a butthole after that to poop out
So
anything.
funny. That's so funny.
Oh,
All right. Okay, you have another one?
that is just nasty. Ugh, my butt hurts just
Right?
thinking about it.
Think about it.
Last one. Would you rather eat a pube sandwich
Come on, man.
or drink a vomit
Oh,
milkshake?
come on, man.
Bam.
Come on.
Tap that look.
Wow. Let's see. Oh, shit. Let's see. I would. Wow. Okay, I would have to say definitely the sandwich. Because the milkshake, I don't think there's a way that you could mask the scent. Like the sandwich, you could at least spread enough stuff.
It could be a mini milkshake.
It could be a mini sandwich too. It could be a one bite. You know, I don't know. That no, I have to go with the sandwich, man. Okay, so
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Wow. No. I was gonna say I was gonna go with the sandwich too.
Would you rather have to sneeze but not be able to, or have something stuck in your eye for an entire year? Either of these for an entire year. Either sneeze, not being able to sneeze for an entire year but have that sensation,
man.
or have something stuck in your eyeball and not be able to get it out for an entire year.
Sneeze or eyeball. So I think I'd rather have the eyeball
Yeah.
because I know the feeling of sneezing and not being able to, just because I have bad allergies. So I know that feeling, and it's not it doesn't feel good at all.
Yeah, I would
Not at all.
definitely be on the sneeze side of that one, I think, because I like my eyes too much. I don't know.
Yeah.
But let's see here. Now, I just have a couple one random question. Nowadays you could stream music, you can get music anywhere, anytime that you want to, really. But and like there's Facebook and there's Instagram, all this stuff. But back in the day, I never had a page, but you maybe had a page, MySpace, right? MySpace.
Yes.
And then you could actually
Yes, I
program it to have music playing constantly and all this stuff. So if you
Right,
had one
right.
song from nowadays to go back and put on your MySpace.
From nowadays.
That you would have constant loop
Today.
to never be able to change off of your MySpace page, what would it be?
Oh man, you put me on the spot. Dang, what could I pick? That's a tough one, dude. That is a tough one. I guess.
Rap Civil War's coming up, so you better pick something good.
Yeah, I know, right? Heck, I'll go with Lupe Fiasco's Mural.
Okay. A little
Yeah.
Lupe Fiasco. I always thought he was a little crazy, but maybe that just tie into his name, Fiasco.
Yeah, I think it's just his
Yeah.
name you're thinking of.
Yeah, wow.
What about you?
Man,
What do you got?
I didn't even, let me just say this. I've been on this Chance the Rapper kick for a minute now, since his new Coloring Book album dropped. So it would definitely be one of the songs from that. I love the No Problems track just because it had a little Dave Chappelle at the beginning of it. And then the Blessings track or the Angels track.
Yeah.
I would have to say one of those three. I can't narrow it down, but I mean, I guess if I had to, I would say the Angels, because I like the beat when that sucker actually jumps up. It's so good. Oh man, it's so lit. So those are some would you rathers and some other hypotheticals. And if you guys have any would you rathers, any random questions for us, please let us know. If you like love advice, dating advice, we've been through enough of that craziness. If you like some advice on how to put the smack down on some little kids who steal your video game glory, tap your love box and let us know, because we would love to help you guys. But yeah, man, it's been a fun episode. So definitely want to give a shout out to everybody that listened. So thank you very much. We'll definitely give you a shout out. We'll give you a shout out if you're listening, and if you give us some kind of feedback on the next episode or one thereafter. If you want to check out our site, which is slowly coming together. Jay is about to tell you where you can find us and where you can find our site.
Yes, as always, guys, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at #BlackoutPod. Hit us up on our blog at #BlackoutPodcast.blogspot.com. Our website, #blackoutpod.wix.com, is slowly coming together, as Jared said. You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud. You could do a Google search. We'll pop up everywhere. We'll be uploading the audio and some random video to YouTube under #Blackout Podcast. When you go there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and make sure you tap that love box. And if you have any suggestions on show topics, email us at #blackoutpod@gmail.com. Leave us feedback, good, bad, ugly.
Don't sleep on Stitcher.
Don't sleep on Stitcher. We're on Stitcher too.
Yeah, we actually got a comment this week from a Cassidy on Stitcher. She left a comment on the last episode and said I have a cute sounding kid. So my son had a nice little smile today.
Oh, he got a fan.
Yes, sir. So yeah, thanks Cassidy for that. Big ups to you. So we're on Stitcher as well. So yeah, you can find us in a lot of places. If there's somewhere else you want to hear us, please let us know. Tap that love box. So, man. So, thanks. This was a fun episode. And I guess we'll be blacking out.